A lot of people think that designing their own security system is complicated, but it's actually really easy once you know the basics. You don't need any special qualifications, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to secure your own home. You'll know where you do need protection, but just as importantly, where you don't. I've been a security engineer for 12 years, and these are the same fundamentals I use to this day when deciding what alarm protection a property needs. I'm going to walk you through a simple example, a standard home with a ground floor, a first floor and an outhouse, which could be something like a garage or a shed, and show you how to design a complete system that actually makes sense. Even if you're planning to have a professional install it for you, this will help you understand what to order and where everything should go. And if you'd like a free PDF checklist that you can follow when deciding what you need for your own home, just click the link below and I'll email it to you. All right, let's dive into it. Right, let's go. Here's our layout, and we've got equipment needed just here where we'll put a list of what's required for the install. So on here, we've got ground floor. Now the first thing we need when it comes to an alarm is a control panel. So let's put control panel under equipment needed. Control panel. Now the control panel will plug in to the mains, use a normal plug, and have an Ethernet cable coming out from it if you've got like a smart system that goes into your internet router. So wherever your internet router is in your house, the control panel can go around there. You can plug it in, pop the cable into the back of the router, and that is your control panel all installed. So before we get onto actual detection advices, what else might you need? Well, in the hallway, you might want a keypad, which is shortened to RKP, which stands for remote keypad. So we'll put equipment needed here, remote keypad. You know, where you put your code in to unset and press a button on it to set, things like that, just for general use of the system. You would also usually nowadays have an app or a fob and things like that, but it's still beneficial to have a keypad on your system. So let's have a look at our layout of a standard house here. We've got here where it says front door on the ground floor. So what we're going to need for a front door, for the first line of defense when coming into your home, you're going to need an opening contact. This will protect your front door and also give you the entrance routes when you walk in. So we'll put here OC for opening contact. Then as we move into this particular house, we've got a room here on the left and on the right where we've got a window at the front which could potentially be vulnerable to access. So in these rooms, a motion sensor is perfect to protect them. So if we put up here and here, motion sensors, so those motion sensors and those lines are just indicating, you know, where it's looking out to. Motion sensor, or MS for short. So we want motion sensor, and we'll put 2 next to it just so we know. At the moment we're up to 2. A list is a really handy thing when you're going around your own property. Keep a list with you and just jot down what equipment you need as you go. Motion sensor now protects the lounge and protects the kids' playroom from potentially being broken into through, say, the window. Now, as we move on to the next part of the house, you'll notice here we have a toilet. Okay, here's the thing. In this example, there's no access to the toilet without coming through a different area of the house. We're saying there's no window here. This is just an enclosed space, which a lot of downstairs toilets are. So do we need a sensor in the toilet? No, we don't, because there's no access to it, or the only access to the toilet is coming through different areas which are going to be protected anyway. So you don't need to just put sensors in every single room, only if it's a potential access point. So now we come in here to the kitchen diner. We have a rear door there. We have bifolds, these stretch right along the back. So all we'd need to cover this entire space in this case is if we put a motion sensor just there. And what will we do now? We'll just add an additional motion sensor to our list. So it's always a bit wonky, but yeah, we're up to 3, and that's protecting the whole kitchen diner and it's protecting the rear door. Now, sometimes people like to put an additional opening sensor on the rear door. It's all personal preference. What I'm giving you now is essentially the fundamentals of it. Motion sensor just there for the kitchen diner will cover it sufficiently. So now we've actually secured the ground floor. It's all done. Right, now we can go upstairs. Now in upstairs, we have bedrooms, bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bedroom 3, and a bathroom. Okay, now upstairs is not usually as vulnerable an area for break-in as anywhere on the downstairs because this is much easier access. So all I advise for the upstairs, depending on the type of house, but just as a minimum, have a motion sensor up in a corner protecting the landing. That means if you're out and you've set the system and someone comes in and breaks in upstairs, they're going to get picked up on the landing and trigger the alarm. Of course you can have more sensors here, but what we're doing is just getting the basics right that will suit most homes anyway. So we'll have a motion sensor there on the upstairs, add a motion sensor into there. Now you've covered the internal ground floor and the internal first floor. So now we go on to something that's really common in a lot of homes. You might have a garage, a shed, or an outhouse, you know, that's detached, or maybe it's attached. But inside this building, you may have tools, bikes, essentially valuables that are worth a lot of money, and you'll want to protect this area as well, especially considering you're using a wireless alarm. You can just put a wireless sensor into this space. So let's say we put up here another motion sensor, so someone can't break into that area thinking that they're not going to get caught because they think you've only alarmed the house. And we put a motion sensor here. We now got 5 motion sensors, and what we've done is protect the ground floor, protect the first floor, and protect the garage. Now on here as well, we're in a back garden, so an optional extra sometimes people may want is on, say, the corner of the outside of the house, you might have an external motion sensor. So I'll put that here, and that's there just to stop anyone getting anywhere near the property without the alarm going off. So if someone's trying to approach, for instance, from the back garden, or maybe trying to sneak round and go to the rear door area, the external motion sensor will trigger, sound the alarm before they've even got anywhere near any entrance point of the house. So what else is a very common thing to have on an alarm system? Well, the external siren. So if we imagine this now is the front of the house, we might just have an ES out the front on the outside, so we'll make a note of that here as well. So what that's there for is not just means of a deterrent, which it works great for, but a means of a loud audible alert if anyone is to trespass into any of these zones when the system is set. And because we went through and kept the list as we go, we've got the control panel, the remote keypad in the hall, opening contact on the front door, 5 motion sensors, 1 external motion sensor, 1 external siren. And there you go, that's a property well protected. Now I'm not saying this is all anyone has to have. There's always going to be a bit of personal preference. Some people might want more, some people might want less, and that's absolutely fine. What this video is about is giving you the fundamentals, because once you understand this, securing your own home or any property becomes much easier to plan out. Once you've got this down, the whole process of designing a security system stops feeling daunting, it becomes quick, simple, and actually quite logical. Don't forget, if you want the free checklist to help you go through your own home step by step, the link's below. And if you're ready to get started with a reliable security system, I've also linked the Guardfather security system website where you can order your own security system. Thanks for watching, I hope this has helped. I'll see you on the next one.